Hello and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, I am going to be explaining what is a conditional statement in JavaScript. But before we get started, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, everybody, so to get started, we are going to be opening the same websites that we have been using so far. We have here MDN, and also we have the same website that we have been coding so far with. And of course, we have here our code. In this section, I did not open W3 School, but if you want, feel more than welcome to go ahead and do it, because there you can also find some useful information. But in today's episode, I'm just going to be using MDN, just so you know. So in MDN, what I want you to type in is something that it's called if, and then you give a space, and then you type in the word else. Okay, so if else, and then you're going to see two articles. Just click on the first one, that'll be fine. Okay, and then you're going to get into this article that I am in right now. So the first thing that you might be asking yourself is, what is a conditional statement? Now, in JavaScript, we have a lot of statements and declarations. And in today's episode, I am going to be talking about the conditional statement itself. As you can see in this article that we are here, in the left side, you will see some statements and declarations into these references. And then you will see some overviews, and there's a whole bunch of statements and declarations that you will see in JavaScript. However, the ones that we're going to focus in today is in conditional statement. That's why you have to click where it says if and else. So to get started, let's just read first a little bit in MDN, and then I will explain you in my words what is a conditional statement. So here it says that the if and else statements executes a statement if a specified condition is truthy. And if the condition is falsy, then another statement in the optional else clause will be executed. So in simple words, this is what I can explain you. A conditional statement in JavaScript is a type of programming statement that will allow you to execute, let's say, different blocks of code based on a condition. Now, in JavaScript, there are four types of conditional statements. We have if, we have else if, then we have else, and then the fourth one, it's called switch. The if conditional statement is going to be used to execute a block of code if a specified condition, let's say, it's true, right? Now, the else if statement is used to execute a block of code if the first condition is false and a second condition is true. Now, the else statement is used to execute a block of code if none of the specified conditions are true. We could say that. And then we have something that is called switch, and the switch statement is used to select one or many blocks of code to be executed based on a specified value. But to keep it simple and to make sure that you understand the basics of conditional statements, I am going to explain today just the if and else condition, okay? So that you know how this works. And then in future episodes, we're going to dig deeper into more conditional statements and how they're used, because they have a whole bunch of operators that you can use. But today I will just simply keep it simple because I am just teaching the foundation of JavaScript, so that then we can start building a small project, and then we can advance to, more advanced JavaScript topics, and then we can see much more details of each chapter that we have seen so far. Okay? Okay, so enough about talking. Now let me give you a quick example, so that you can go ahead and actually type it into your code and actually do it yourself. Now, in our code, we have a whole bunch of things that we have typed in so far from previous episodes. I'll select everything, I'll clear it up. So I'm going to hit save now, and then going back to our code, let's hit refresh. Okay, so that's done. Now let's go ahead and go back to our code. What we're going to do is create a statement. But in order for us to create a statement, the first thing that you need to understand is the syntax. Okay, so the syntax for the if statement is simple. You just type in the word if, then you open parentheses, and then you will open brackets. Simple as that. You will pass something into parentheses, some type of data into parentheses, and then you're going to open a block of code, and that is the if condition. Now, the else condition is very similar. All you have to do is type in the word else, then you give some space, and then you open curly brackets to open another line of code. And that's it. So here is the if statement syntax, and then here is the else statement syntax. Okay, so let me give you a quick example in how this will work. What we are going to do first is set up, let's say, a number. Let's say number equal to, and let's give it a number, a primitive value, a number data type. So let's set up the number as 5. Okay, there you go. So let's this number be 5. So now in this parentheses, we want to set up the condition. So let's say that if the number that we have here is bigger, let's make this bigger than 0, then we're going to, and let's input in the brackets, console.log, and then in parentheses, the number is positive. And we're going to simply make this a string, just so that it can display the number is positive, okay? Now, right now, we haven't written anything down in the else statements, so we only have an if statement right now. So let's go ahead and hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. And as you can see, it says right now the number is positive, right? Because if the number is bigger than 0, then the console.log will display the number is positive. Now, if we go ahead and type in something that is less than 0, let's say -1, let's hit save. And then let's go back to our code. And I hit refresh, nothing is displayed. Why? Because we only have set up the if statement, right? So the if condition here, it's giving pretty much some type of instructions. It's saying if the number is bigger than 0, then we're going to console.log, the number is positive. Right now we haven't used else yet. So that's why when I change the number to be -1, since it's less than 0, then obviously our console doesn't display anything. It'll only display positive numbers so far. Let's say if I give the number 10 without the minus sign, right? I'm going to hit save. Going back to our code, let's hit refresh. Then it'll say the number is positive. Anything bigger than 0, then the number will, the console will console.log, the number is positive, right? Now, if we use negative numbers, the console doesn't do anything because that is not bigger than 0, right? So if I hit -1 and I hit refresh, nothing happens. So now we're going to code the else statement. So let's see here. Else, if the number is not bigger than 0, then we're going to console.log. Let's say here we're going to console.log. The number is not positive. Let's just keep it simple. Console.log. The number is not positive. Okay, simple as that. Now I'm going to hit save. Now we have -1. The value that we're giving to our number right now, is -1. So if I go ahead and I hit refresh right now, there you go. The number is not positive. Now we have something displaying in our console because we have changed the else statement, as you can see. So if the number is bigger than 0, we're going to get this result. The number is positive. If the number is lower than 0, if it's -1, -2, -100, then the console is going to display the number is not positive. You can go ahead and actually play around with it. Let's remove the negative sign. Let's hit save. Let's hit refresh. Now the number is positive. Now let's add the negative sign, and then let's say -100 or whatever the number you want it to be. I'm going to hit save, and now let's hit refresh. And now it says that the number is not positive. So this is a great example in how an if statement looks like. Now let me just give you another example so that you can see what else you can do with this. We can also go ahead and apply Booleans. If you remember the primitive data types, there's one that it's called Booleans, which is for true or false. So let's go ahead and create another variable here. And let's say and I'm going to say is raining. That's going to be the name of my variable. And then we're going to say equals to false. Okay, and then this is going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and create the statements. So let's go ahead and say if the variable is raining, right? And then let's open brackets. Then we're going to console.log. Bring an umbrella. Something like that, okay? Okay, so if it's raining, bring an umbrella. This is what's going to console.log. Else, if it's not raining, right, then we're going to console.log, and then let's put in parentheses, no need for an umbrella. Just easy like that, okay? So this is another example. Right now, we are setting up is raining to be false, which is a Boolean data type. I'm sure you have a study and you have read a little bit about primitive data types. So Boolean is one of them. Either it could be false or it could be true. So if it's raining, it's false, then the console is going to display no need for an umbrella. But if raining is true, then the console is going to that log, bring an umbrella. Hope that makes sense. So then let's go ahead and hit save, and let's go back to our code and let's hit refresh. And boom, you see it says no need for an umbrella, because right now is raining is false. Now if we change this to be true, there you go. Let's set it up as true. Let's hit save. Now this should change to whatever condition we give to if, which is going to console.log bring an umbrella. Right now there's no need an umbrella because of what we wrote down before, which this condition was false. Which the variable here itself was with a value of false. Now the variable is raining is with a value of true. So as soon as I hit refresh, there you go. Now it says bring an umbrella because it's raining. Okay. So those are conditional statements. You just saw two of them, if and also else. I'll leave you the homework to go ahead and actually read a little bit more about if else and also about the fourth statement, which could be switch. Okay. And if you want, you can go ahead and actually play around with this. Go ahead and make your own if and else statements and play around with the console and display whatever information you wanted. These are great exercises when you want to make sure, right, that you're learning to code well. Remember to practice. I always say that in each and every episode. Now, one thing that I can tell you is that if statements are very, very important in JavaScript. And the reason is because you will use them a lot in the real world when you're building websites. Let's say that you want to build a website for somebody that is, I don't know, let's say it's selling courses, right? So if somebody that is selling courses says, hey, can you build me a website? I just want to sell my courses in here. Well, you probably are going to be using if statements. Let me give you an example in when that will happen. Let's say that you want to build a website, right, for that type of online courses, and you might want to set up an if statement. Let's say if the client pays for the course, then they will receive this type of material, right? If the client doesn't pay for the course, right, which could be the else statement, then the client is going to get some type of message saying, please pay this amount for the course to have access to it. Simple as that, you know, just giving you an example of a real live website that you might be creating that will need if statements. So I hope everything was clear. Remember, if you have questions, you can drop them in the comment section below so I can get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, so that's it again, everybody, for this episode. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Remember that you can always ask Lixi. Bye, everybody, and see you again in the next episode.